Right, moving on to our next class, which is the Funbikes M2R Junior SM140s and Junior SM65. So there are two classes on track as far as I'm aware in this one. Zach Shelton will start from the front, Joe Duggan alongside. Ash Barnes and Chase Collymore will make up row two. And there will be Max Feeney starting fifth and Luca Allen sixth.
Max Bartle, 7th place, and Lissy Whitmore in 8th alongside him. Jack Smith is in 9th place, Riley Dexter in 10th. Harvey Smith is in 11th, and 12th is Joe Woodward. 13th, Lewis Lakey, and in 14th position, Bailey Wharton Clark. These guys are, as the other classes are having an extra warm-up lap, so as they can get used to the Zulu layout, as opposed to the International on which they qualified. A bit too much oil spilt on the International to be racing on it today, but luckily Whilton Mill has a facility to change track halfway through the day.
As far as I'm aware, all of the riders in the field are in the 140 class, except for Max Feeney, who's starting 5th and is in the Junior Stock 6.5. Parents out on the track, ready to receive the riders on the grid to form up. You see Joe Duggan in the 64 taking up 2nd place on the grid. This class has riders aged 9 to 15 years of age. As our pole sitter comes into position.
That's Zach Shelton. Behind him on the red bike is Ash Barnes. And lined up in 4th place with the white suit and yellow helmet is Chase Collymore. Max Feeney, as you said, in the different class, lines up 5th place, who has 2 or 3 people surrounding his bike at the minute. But he is in the green suit with Monster on the front of it.
Zach Shelton comes into this race with plenty of momentum behind him in this class. He had a race win at Teesside. He had 2 race wins at Tattershall. He leads the points at the moment and he sits on pole position. There's little more that a rider could ask for at this point in the championship. Riders appear to be in position as good luck wishes come in for Riley Dexter. As I mentioned earlier today, accomplished rider already, won the Junior SM90 class last year. So Riley will be one to watch. We look like we might be good for a go here, though.
Thumbs up from the man at the front.
Flags at the back, flags go up, engine notes rise. And we're away for round 3.
Excellent start from Max Feeney. He's right up into 2nd place off the first corner.
Absolutely, but it's Zach Shelton who's held on to it through turns 1 and 2 and already has quite a gap as they go up the hill. But you're absolutely right there. Max Feeney's had a fantastic start there.
Ash Barnes and Chase Collymore have held 3rd and 4th. So from 2nd place, Joe Duggan has dropped back, but replaced by Max Feeney as into the Zulus they come.
You're seeing a lot of people fanning out across the track. Don't worry, that is the parents of the riders ready to guide where necessary. A good, clean start then.
Yes, all our riders have got round the first lap successfully, as through start-finish straight comes our leader, Zach Shelton. Followed closely Max Feeney, Ash Barnes, Chase Collymore, and Joe Duggan, our top 5.
Yep, absolutely.
Zach with a bit of a gap back to 2nd place, second, third and fourth, all very close together. Expect to see them battle throughout this 10-lap race.
So our leaders work their way through Inkermans. Zach Weston still leads this one. And Max Feeney in a number 33, doing a good job. As you say, really good start there for him.
Yeah, so he was excellent off the line. He went straight down the inside of turn 1 and picked up 3 places. Zach Shelton completes another lap. He's not getting away from those chasing pack. Max Feeney keeping him honest. And Ash Barnes on the red bike. Not too far behind him either. We may see a challenge for the lead in this one. Howard?
Yep, absolutely. So, Zach Weston, I'm just looking to see how big the gap is. Although Max Feeney has just set the fastest lap of the race on the previous time round. So, the gap has actually shrunk. So, we need to watch this one because it's a challenge for the overall lead of the race.
It looks to me like Ash Barnes is closer to taking second place than Max
It does
Feeney
actually,
is to
doesn't
taking
it?
first.
Yeah, so
He's
because,
closed
and it's
right up on
because
that lap.
yeah, and it's because Ash Barnes has just set the fastest lap of the race, 45.885, closing up onto the back of Feeney. So really even on pace. Particularly these 4 riders on at the front: Shelton, Feeney, Barnes, and Collymore.
I wouldn't rule Duggan out either.
No, absolutely right. Sorry, in fact, they've sort of broken away, these top 5, haven't they? Working their way through the Zulus. That's Max Feeney with Ash Barnes on the number 8, the red bike there.
Yeah, I believe we spoke to Max back at Teesside before the race. Very enthusiastic young man here with his dad. Very happy.
Further back. Oh, nice look at the inside there. That's in the battle, I believe, over the lower part of the top 10. Luca Allen running 6th with Whitmore, Smith and Riley Dexter for company. So good battles going on throughout the field here. It is as you were, though, as they cross the line now. And it's timing updates shows Max Bartle, in fact, is 6th place. I thought we'd seen Max.
Coming to the boot now, Barnes is very close to Feeney. I think they're just too close in terms of pace to make an overtake here. There's no significant part of the track where one is faster than the other. Barnes will get close to the back of that bike of Max Feeney, but I think they are too closely matched in terms of ability.
Yep, agreed. Very closely matched on pace here at the moment, but I'm fairly certain that won't deter Ash Barnes from trying as they work their way up the hill. One more time, you can see the sand on the outside there of Christmas Corner. It's from the oil spill that we had earlier today that caused some of the delays and ultimately which led to us running on this Zulus layout rather than the Internationals loop. Weaving their way, I do love watching them weave their way through Zulus. It really looks really cool as they're switching their balance for each of the apexes in quick succession. Barnes really seems to close up in this in the boot, but it is as you were as they come through.
Yes, Feeney takes a lot of curb through the Zulus, while Barnes tends to stay off them. Neither seems to be gaining a significant advantage from it, but it just goes to show the different styles of riding on show here today.
Yeah, and Chase Collymore now, of course, closing up to the back, and that's because he's just set the fastest lap now, 45.429. So Zach Shelton leads. He's got a breathing gap of about 2 seconds from Max Feeney. Then it's Ash Barnes and Chase Collymore. Joe Duggan has been dropped slightly, although his pace is still good, so don't count him out of this one. But there is effectively a 3-bike battle for second place, which we're watching right now on screen.
Shelton is coming up to back marker, Howard, so that could come into play shortly, both of the first place position and this battle for second that we're seeing. Yep. Shelton into the first corner takes the first of the back markers. Feeney is not far behind.
Absolutely.
Shelton will take a second back marker going up to Christmas, which gives him a bit of a gap. There are 2 riders now between him and Max Feeney. Max Feeney still got Ash Barnes behind him, and he'll hope to navigate these sooner rather than later. Going into Inkermans, it looks like he may have been slowed down a little bit by that first back markers, I believe, Bailey Ward-Clark.
Yeah, I think he has. He's dropped down on timing, actually, but no, there he goes, popping back up. That's what I'd expect to see, because he's definitely still running in 3rd place.
Goes around the outside of Lewis Lakey. into the boot. Ash Barnes has struggled
Yeah,
to
and
get
that's
past
he's been
Lewis
balked,
Lakey.
hasn't he? And that's allowed Collymore past, I believe.
Chase
So-
Collymore into 3rd place on the completion of this, the 8th lap, I believe.
Yep. 2 laps remaining then, and Zach Shelton just needs to control this one.
He has.
Plenty of support coming in on Facebook, by the way. I will try and put as many on screen as I can, but we've got to keep one eye on the action, and here it is, Collymore and Barnes. Barnes will be somewhat frustrated, I think, by how he lost out there, because he was taking his time to safely navigate the traffic.
Shelton looking a bit shaky coming out of the Zulus there, must be honest, but Max Feeney still a few seconds behind. Collymore has Barnes for company, but Barnes not close enough to make an effort into the boot. This, after this lap, will be our final lap.
It is
The
indeed.
board comes
Zach
out.
Shelton, yep. Zach Shelton begins his final tour of the circuit, and you know what? To celebrate, he's just set the fastest lap of the race, 45.389. Feeney in 2nd, Collymore 3rd, and Barnes in 4th. The gap between 3rd and 4th now 0.7 of a second, so it's not over for that yet. Keep one eye out on that.
I will take back what I said about Shelton looking shaky coming out of
I
the
was
Zulus on
gonna
that
say.
last lap. Perhaps it was just the bike was going too fast
I think,
to handle smoothly.
however shaky he was, he certainly knows it's obviously it's a fast shaky.
He's through the
because
boot
he's
now.
got the pace. Zach Shelton is rounding the final part of the circuit. There he is. Zach Shelton is going to take the win for round 3, race 1 in the Funbikes M2R Junior SM140 class. Max Feeney will finish 2nd. Chase Collymore, a well-earned 3rd place after a race-long battle with Ash Barnes, who finishes 4th. Joe Duggan will finish 5th. Max Bartle, we expect, will come round and finish 6th. Actually, I'm not going to call that yet because it was close between those riders. We wait to see the battle come across. Here it is. Max Bartle does indeed take 6th. Well earned from him. Lissy Whitmore is 7th. 8th, Jack Smith. Riley Dexter finishes 9th. Harvey Smith, 10th. Joe Woodward finishes 11th. 12th, Lewis Lakey. Bailey Ward-Clark finishes 13th. And Luca Allen, 14th. Good race there. I think we saw some really good riding. Some good battles. Controlled win for Zach Shelton. Riding it into the pit lane nice and casually there. Good race there for number 7. There's Chase Collymore. There is Max Feeney, who has I say, according to the timing we have up here, was the only rider in the 65 class. As the riders come into the pit lane. Good race there. So that was your Junior SM140 and your Junior SM65, and we go straight into the South Coast Honda.
Ideally not where I'd like to be, but bear in mind it's the first time I've done this. I'm over the moon. Yeah?
Have you enjoyed yourself? That's the main thing.
Oh god, yeah. It's been brilliant. So chilled out, but at the same time, they've still got the competitive edge and the adrenaline rush, so yeah, I'm well happy.
And have you been watching much of the racing whilst you've been on the sidelines?
I have actually. There's a lot of impressive young lads out there.
Yeah, well, we were saying, well, these lads who are going out now, the likes of Ash Barnes, Chase Collymore, Max Feeney, have given us some great racing this afternoon.
Yeah.
The future's bright, I
Yeah,
guess.
definitely.
How long are you sticking around for?
What, tonight?
Wow, yeah, chance to go for a beer? Or? I feel like we've hit it off.
Oh dear. Oh.
Wow.
Sounds a bit
I'm
romantic.
I'm
that.
questioning myself now. You don't seem to be in agreement, but you know, okay.
No, we've got another Stop 160, another Stop 140 race, and then we'll probably call it a day.
Brilliant. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you out in that one. We better move on because they are lining up on the grid for our next race. But thanks for coming and talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Hope you have a great second race.
Thanks a lot.
The grid for this next race, our SM65 Funbikes M2R Racing Junior SM140. Zach Shelton is in pole position. Joe Duggan lines up alongside him on the front row of the grid. Ash Barnes is in third with Chase Collymore in fourth. Max Feeney is in fifth with Luca Allen alongside him in sixth. Max Bartle is in seventh. Lissy Whitmore, Jack Smith and Riley Dexter round out the top 10. Harvey Smith, Joe Woodward, Lewis Lakey and Bailey Ward-Clark complete the grid. just in time because away they go. It's a great start for Jack Shelton, and Joe Duggan seems to have surrendered second place to Ash Barnes, heading up towards Christmas Corner. Zach is going to have a strong lead, but Ash is not too far behind on that red bike.
Yeah, and Duggan's going to need to be careful because I think Chase Collymore is there ready to take third place off him if he's not careful. It doesn't quite work out for Collymore. So it's going to be Shelton, Barnes, Duggan and Collymore as they come through Inkermans, and Shelton's already trying to check out on this one, isn't he, Jacob? Absolutely flying down the hill and onto the back straight.
Yeah, he won with a significant gap earlier. Ash Barnes looks to have some pace, though. He could cause him some trouble here.
Absolutely.
Through the boot for the first time, everyone's got round safely.
Yep.
We haven't had much in the way of first lap incidents here today.
No, it's actually been commendably clean on the first lap from all the classes. Zach Shelton it is then who leads across the line at the end of lap one. Ash Barnes second, Chase Collymore third, Max Bartle.
Chase Collymore fourth. Sorry, Joe Duggan's still there, although as I say that, Collymore goes straight up the inside into Christmas Corner, demotes Duggan to fourth. Duggan had a look at Ash Barnes into turn one, but for whatever reason he couldn't get that up that hill quick enough. He's a bigger lad than the rest of them, so perhaps that extra weight is counting against him up the hill.
Yeah, Joe Duggan is having a transponder issue as there's a couple of riders down in Inkermans there.
Parents over to help them real quick.
And the riders both immediately back on their feet, so good to see, fundamentally okay there. Yeah, Joe Duggan having transponder issues, so don't panic if you're seeing him dropping down that timing chart on the left-hand side. It is Zach Shelton, followed by Ash Barnes, followed by Duggan. Actually, no, Collymore has got past Duggan, and Collymore's got a run on Barnes up the hill. Collymore's got real overspeed there, and up the inside of Christmas he goes. There he is.
He's got a slighter frame, Collymore, and he seems to be making the advantage work for him up the hill with the weight.
Yellow flags out there.
And Duggan takes Barnes as well. Not quite sure if that would have been under yellow flags, Howard. But Duggan is now in third place. Barnes down to fourth.
Yep. Zach Shelton, fastest lap of the race, 45.905, setting the pace that he needs to pull out the gap. 2.6 seconds to the good at the front of this one. And then it's Chase Collymore, Joe Duggan, reconfirmed by timing back in third place now, with Ash Barnes now in fourth. Brilliant three-bike battle over second place here. I think one of our riders at the top of the hill, we think Lissy Whitmore, is retiring from this race. So both riders involved in the incident at the top of the hill fundamentally okay, but I think the bikes may have run into some issues.
We are following our 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th riders through the Zulus. They are Max Bartle, Jack Smith, Riley Dexter and Harvey Smith. Out front there, Max Bartle in the white. They're relatively tall for a youngster, I will say. But riding well under pressure from Jack Smith behind him.
Yeah, this class featuring riders aged between 9 and 15, so that is the period where you're going to see quite differences.
Yes. Those ages.
Yeah.
Leading me to the lovely height of 6'5" that I am now.
Yes.
For any ladies that are listening.
I can't claim to have hit that height. There we go.
Zach Shelton's still out in the lead of this one as we see a replay of the incident that took 2 of our riders out in Inkermans.
Yeah.
Thankfully, both are up on their feet.
Yeah, so this was Lissy Whitmore and Max Feeney. Both riders now retired from the race, but as I say, they did both get up from that incident and dust themselves down, which was good to see.
Zach Shelton leads the pack up to Christmas Corner. Collymore still in second place. He's eked out a bit of a gap now to Joe Duggan. Ash Barnes is still in touch with Joe Duggan, but Joe looks to have him managed at the minute. We'll see if that becomes a battle again towards the end of the race. We have 3 laps remaining of this second of our junior races. We pick up on screen again a battle for 5th and 6th. Max Barton still leads.
Yeah, and Riley Dexter right with them as well, and Luca Allen. So
that is now with our 3rd and 4th place, Joe Duggan and Ash Barnes. They coming across the start-finish now. Now 2 laps remain of this one. Let's see if Barnes can get a run up to Christmas Corner. Barnes is the smaller of the two, and yes, indeed, has a significant speed advantage. Round the outside now. Duggan has the inside for the corner, but Barnes holds the move and takes third place. Excellent work.
Yep, really good pass there. This man, though, Zach Shelton, is doing everything he needs to do though, here at the front. Almost 5 seconds up the road now. Faultless riding. And I'm looking, indeed he is about to receive the final lap board, so this is his final tour of the circuit.
Once again, our man with the board and our timing system are aligned.
They match up. That's been the case for a couple of races now.
We seem to have ironed out our issues.
I'm going to
with the
go as
timing
far as to say we can start trusting that last lap thing when it comes up.
As soon as you say that, next one will
I
show
know,
this transponder owner, but yeah, we'll see how it
It's
goes.
been that kind of day with the timing. But here we are. Ash Barnes then, ahead of Joe Duggan now. Fairly comfortable. He's just got to bring it home. We need to look out front though, because Zach Shelton is entering the boot for the final time. Here he is. It's been a fantastic ride. It's been fantastic riding throughout the whole weekend actually for Shelton. And he comes across the line to take the win and celebrate. Brilliant celebration there, and well he might, because that was a fantastic controlled race from Zach Shelton. Chase Collymore takes a very well-deserved second. Ash Barnes finishes third. Joe Duggan will come round to finish fourth. Here they are now coming through. Actually, this is the fifth place battle.
Yep.
This has been brilliant as well to watch.
Joe Duggan has indeed come round and finished.
He has finished
just hasn't
fourth.
been picked up
His
by the
transponder
system that
is
you were
playing tricks. Yeah.
waxing lyrical about just minutes ago.
Max Bartle fifth, Jack Smith sixth, Riley Dexter seventh, Luca Allen eighth. And then it'll be Joe Woodward 9th, Bailey Ward-Clark 10th, Lewis Lakey 11th, Harvey Smith 12th, Max Feeney and Lissy Whitmore both ran into incidents. And there is the celebration from Zach Shelton.
Yeah, quick burnout on the back straight. I mean, it wasn't quite flossing, was it? But I'm sure his dad wouldn't want us encouraging that kind of behaviour. Nevertheless, great to see Zach enjoying himself.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff from Zach Shelton. Been very impressed by how he's ridden. And actually very impressed by how that whole class has ridden throughout the weekend.
They're fantastic young riders. That's twice we've live streamed their racing now, and twice I thought, you know what, these kids are great. Let's get some air into the commentary room. The last thing you want is to hear the sound of